Alright, I want to make a video shedding light on sexual immorality and why, sex can be so sinful and lust works against our soul. And the first thing I want to talk about is what is the purpose of sex, right? And the pleasure. Because, reproduction didn't have to be so pleasurable for humans. And if there's God, like, why did he make sex? And here's the deal. It's a gift. It's for our pleasure. God made it so we can enjoy it. And what does the Bible say that we should hold off sex until? Marriage, right? And that's another thing I'll say, like, what is marriage? What is the purpose of marriage? And the thing is, it's like, marriage is probably one of the, if not the biggest blessings we get to have on earth. To have a partner, somebody that you and them, you love each other more than anyone else, someone that you grow closer with and you share your life with, and share each other's burdens and pains and struggles, and you help each other stay on the right path and lift each other up, and someone to spend time with, and all these things that come with that romantic aspect of life and love is such a blessing. And the thing is, it's difficult, right? People are imperfect. So no marriage will ever be perfect and smooth. And honestly, I think it's way better like that, because you actually got to fight for it. It's not just like easy. When it's hard, it's better. You grow closer to the person amidst the struggle. And the thing about sex is, it is so much easier to fight for, like, to just have that love and passion for someone when you can also have all this physical pleasure from them, right? It is so much easier for me to want to be with someone my whole life when I can also have sex with them. And obviously that's not the main part. That's not the point of marriage, right? Marriage is like literally to have a second half. It's like the missing puzzle piece of your life and another person. It's so special, and sex makes it better and easier to appreciate that person and to put up with their junk, because everyone has got junk. And a wise friend of mine once said that marriage is like if you got all these games on your phone and you got to delete them for one forever. You got to delete all the games for one. And that's what it's like. It's like, there's so many girls around. There's so many pretty girls. There's so many girls I find interesting, and I see potential to have a relationship with them. And it's like when you get married, you cancel out every other person for one. You know what I mean? It's very, very special, and it feels good, if a girl, all the dudes in the world, and if a girl shuts them all aside, forgets about them for me, and I do the same for her, it's like, dang, it feels so good. And and then to also have sex involved in that is so nice. And it's like, here's the deal though. When you're fooling around with other games, and you're, if I'm messing around with all these other girls, it's so much harder to be satisfied with that one person, right? Because I have all these experiences with other people that aren't her, all these awesome experiences, right? It's like, it's hard to pick one game and play it forever when you got all these other games that you love playing with. And that's what it's like. We fool around, and then we find the one, and obviously it's still dope, but all of our past sexual sin is working against that glue, which the glue is sex. It helps glue people together, and it works against it, and it weakens it. Like, we lower this amazing gift, this gift of intimacy and romance, and then sex involved too. We lower it to just some pleasure, to a source of pleasure, to a hobby or an escape, a horrible escape. Because sex, the more we get, the more we want. The more I fool around, the more I want to fool around. And it's just like, it works against us, even though it's so pleasurable. And basically, marriage is when we're allowed to do whatever we want with a person. And like, y'all, the thing is, the world is so confused on this topic right now because sex is so pleasurable. Everyone's doing it, right? I'm at college. Obviously, almost everyone I know is a sinfully in sex, right? And it's like, it doesn't matter how often humans sin, God will not lower his standard of right and wrong. Basically, is like, my point is, God will not give us leeway and be like, all right, everyone's doing it, so it's okay. No, right? That's not how it works. Now more than ever is the time to repent of lust. Especially because from God's perspective, you're going to stand out, right? Everyone's doing it, right? So if you don't, God's going to want to bless you, right? Especially probably bless you with the marriage you've always wanted and that relationship that you actually put it aside for. And seriously, it's like, if you want to love your future spouse, you can start to, you might have no idea who they are. I have no idea who mine is. And I can love them now by holding off and the sex with other people and waiting for them. It makes it so much more intimate and special and just, passionate when it's just for one person. I'm not going to be able to compare it to anyone else. And it's like, it's all about love, because not only does the sex fool with our love with our future spouse, and it messes with our brain and all that jazz, but it is such a lack of love to take someone as a physical object. I'm surrounded by people who do all these things for girls. Well, I'll just be more by guys who do all these things for girls. They will do whatever they possibly can to get close to them simply because they want to have sex with them, right? That is just horrible. To take someone as an object, it feels good in the moment when you actually get there, but it does not feel good to be used as a physical object. And especially for women and guys, we're more and more dumb. So guys, we like pleasure, and we're simple. Like a lot of guys don't mind being taken as a physical object, but girls hate that. And it's like this clash of like, but girls love the pleasure. They love the pleasure. So it makes them broken. It's like they don't want to do it, but they want to so bad. So they keep doing it and they don't know how to get out. And the thing is to break free from this, because it is hard. It is hard. I'm going to be honest. Staying away from lust is so difficult. We got to understand that it's not about us being good enough. This whole life, we're supposed to struggle to do what's right. And it's not to be good enough. We will never be good enough. Heaven is perfect. I will always be imperfect. I will always have my weaknesses. That's why, as hard as I try to plant a good marriage, it'll still be difficult, because I'm still imperfect, and so are they. And it's like, we don't have to be. That's not the point, right? Because Jesus he was so perfect. He had made such an amazing sacrifice that he can make up for all of our imperfections. He was so holy that he can fill us up with his power and his holiness. So that way, when we die and we face our sin and everything we did wrong comes against us, we have power over it, because we trust in Jesus and we realize it's Jesus fighting for us. And he's so powerful, and he can break anyone free from lust, anyone free from pride, envy, hatred, like all these things that tear people apart. But Jesus can break us free from them. And it all starts with realizing that Jesus is the reason why you can break free in the first place. And I just thank God for YouTube and the fact that I have the opportunity to make this video. And I just pray that it touched at least one person. One person. That's still amazing. And I appreciate anyone who watched this, for sure. And just if you're struggling, open that Bible, right? You gotta give it a chance, and you gotta see what it has to say, and you gotta have an open heart with your own sin in mind. You're not gonna understand anything the Bible says if you don't think you're a sinner to the extent of needing Jesus. That's the whole point of the Bible, is we need Jesus. We don't have to be good enough. Right? That's the whole lesson that God's trying to teach us, is we don't have to be good enough. And I know I got sidetracked from sex, but this is so much more important, right? Sex is just an example of something God can break free from us, and God can make better, like basically we can have better sexual experiences by pushing it aside out of love. And it's like God can break us free from our struggles, and it will be a fight. I know for sure, as someone who quit porn, it is a fight, but I can only do it from trusting in Jesus and accountability, confessing my sins to my friends, telling people when I'm tempted, praying for me. All these things help us fight against our desire for pleasure. And then you just got to trust God. It's going to be worth it. The more you struggle, the more it's going to be worth it. You got to trust God's faithfulness. He is a faithful God. He sees your struggles and he will push you. God does not baby us. God does not just give us what we ask for and make this life smooth and easy so we can get what we want and get out, right? No. This is a test. This life is a part of our spirit where we are getting built up to a higher place. And sin tears us down. It's very simple, right? The whole point of the Bible isn't follow my religion and you can go to heaven, right? Donate to my church and God will bless you. No, it's not about that. It's about not sinning, right? Sin works against our soul. Every time we do what's wrong, it works against us. And we got to trust God that this struggle against sin, against our own body's desires and our own pride and our own greed and all these things that make us weak, fighting against it is going to be worth it. You know how free you can feel when you realize, one, you don't have to be good enough because Jesus was, and two, the harder you struggle, the harder this life is, the more it's going to be worth it after you get out. And also the fact that everything you did and everything you struggled for was for a greater purpose. It was for loving others. You can touch people's hearts and help them find Christ and find freedom. It's the opportunity is everywhere. The world is so broken because in a broken world there's so much to fix. And life is short, but there is so much time. And we can do so much. Every single day you have so much people you can talk to and try to love. And we all, no matter who, if you're somebody in a wheelchair, you have almost more potential than everyone else. Because you can be joyful because you know you're going to eventually be able to walk and you're still happy and you can touch people's hearts with your joy. Everything. And, it's raining, so I feel like it's a sign that I should stop the video. Especially because it's 12 minutes long, 13 minutes long. But just pray. Just pray. Pray, ask God for help because you do need it. You cannot do this on your own, but with Him you can. All right. I thank you for watching, and I just pray that y'all find Jesus and find freedom. Peace.